This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. Welcome, fight fans. Welcome the fuck back, fight fans. This dude sound like a fucking Rudy Poo and a damn plum brain Mikey Garcia fanboy. I just finished watching this man's video and I couldn't stop but to laugh. I was like, yo, IBFP or whatever the fart your name is, too many things to pick apart from watching your video. First and foremost, let's talk about you saying Timothy Bradley said, we just found out what Errol Spence's weakness is. It's the lack of head movement. They made it seem like that was an Albert Einstein moment. They made it seem like it was a ding ding moment. Like that was something that people have not said about Errol Spence. He was trying to make it seem like at first there was something that was so special that Mikey seasoned Errol Spence. Please, if you're going with that, if that's what it is, and I saw Mikey Garcia at this party, you know what I'm saying, with Robert Garcia and the punch drunk boxer, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know who that is, Rios, Brandon Rios. Dude looked punch drunk and drunk at the same time, but that's neither here nor there. Like, he got too many blows to the head and he had too many tequilas, but that's neither here nor there. First and foremost, when ES News was asking Mikey Garcia about the same stuff, you know, they said Timothy Bradley said that they see, you know, Errol Spence's weakness is his lack of head movement, and Mikey Garcia started laughing. Obviously, the sarcastic laugh that you made gave away. You basically gave Derrick James and Errol Spence the giveaway of what you guys are gonna do, your blueprint. Idiots. And I'm gonna say that again, idiots. You already don't have nothing to go for. That's all you had, that whole special effect of this illusion of making people think that you see something. But now that it's been revealed and it's been put out there, which we already knew that that's what it wasn't nothing special. It wasn't no Albert Einstein moment where we're going to sit here and talk about the theory of relativity and stuff like that. The truth of the fact of the matter is this, man, and y'all need to get y'all shit in order. Errol Spence, this whole nonsense about him having lack of head movement. This is how you could tell people don't know shit about boxing. And they want to tell you don't know about boxing. First of all, get my facts straight, dog. I never said Mikey Garcia that Errol Spence gonna get Mikey Garcia out of there by the fourth round. I got some of my cats on that come on my page. Some of my fans say that because they see it like that way. I say fifth round TKO stoppage. I've been clear. Fifth round TKO stoppage. Let me say it slow for those who, you know, who have those slow moments. Fifth round TKO stoppage. That is my prediction. So if you're gonna say my prediction, make sure you say it right. Now, when you mention all of these guys, the Algiris of the world, the Keith, the Chris Van Heeteren, when you mention Lamont Peterson, when you mention Kell Brook, first and foremost, see, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. When you're dealing with these novices, Rudy Poo, plum brain Mikey Garcia fanboys that are wet behind the ears, they wouldn't know common sense if you hit them upside the head with it. Of course, you could plum and brain full of mush and brainwash their brains, their bamboozled brains, by saying, oh, if those guys could go, you know what I'm saying, past 5 rounds with Errol Spence, how can Mikey Garcia go? You dodo head, you dum-dum, you nonsensical fanboy. That's what you are. You are truly a fanboy. And that's your true and proper levels. Mikey Garcia has never fought at 147-pound division. Why aren't you saying that? These guys are fighting in 147 pounds. When they fought Errol Spence, they were 147-pound fighters. So, of course, they're going to last longer because they are naturally in that weight class. And when you mention Chris Algieri, he was 140 pounds. Chris Algieri had a couple of fights at 147 before he was 140. So what the hell are you talking about? When he fought Manny Pacquiao, did he fight Manny Pacquiao at 140 pounds? No. So what are you talking about? This is the stuff that I'm talking about. All these guys are welterweights. Mikey Garcia has never fought at that weight class. So there's a reason why we have question marks, a lot of glaring question marks about Mikey Garcia, because of the fact that he's never fought at that weight class. And that's the truth of the fact of the matter. Why aren't you bringing that up? Now you've been debunked on that. Now, when you want to sit here and you want to talk about this whole nonsense about Kell Brook, you know what I'm saying? He had one messed up eye. You know, Chris Algieri, you know what I'm saying? He's not a complete fighter. Chris Van Heeteren, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't. Dude, I don't want to hear that stuff, man. When he fought Phil Greco was considered one of the better welterweights at the time when Errol Spence fought him. Chris Van Heeteren, he was considered talented at the time when Errol Spence fought him. Don't take my word for it. Go listen to the punch stats, man. Go listen to what they were talking about building up the fight. Lamont Peterson has an accomplished resume. A lot of controversial fights, but his resume is accomplished nevertheless because he has fought some names. I don't see why anybody's not bringing that up. Lamont Peterson has fought names, man. He's had a belt at 147 pounds. Why is that not being brought up? Chris Algieri, although he was knocked down 4 times by Manny Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao couldn't get him out of there. Manny Pacquiao's a legend. This was when Manny Pacquiao still had enough pop to really drop guys and send them packing. Manny Pacquiao dropped him 4 to 5 times in that fight. But he couldn't close the deal. How come Errol Spence was the one to get him out of there? Why are you not talking about that? See, that's been debunked. And Kell Brook, let's stop this foolery. Errol Spence called out Kell Brook way before the whole Triple G nonsense. Kell Brook ducked him. Why are we not talking about that? And when Errol Spence fought Kell Brook, he gave Kell Brook more than enough time for Kell Brook to be healed from his injuries. So much so that Kell Brook came into that fight ready. That's why that fight went 11 rounds. And when you sit here and say, well, he went 11 rounds with Kell Brook, what does that make Errol Spence? Do you see how big Kell Brook is? Kell Brook, it was even a bigger welterweight than Errol Spence was. And Errol Spence is considered the biggest welterweight. Kell Brook was bigger than him. If Errol Spence's walk-around weight was 180 to 185, we're talking about Kell Brook anywhere between 185 to 190. You didn't see the joke that Derrick James and Errol Spence was making about Kell Brook? Man, are you going to be fat? Because they knew he was even bigger. So why is that not being brought up, man? See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Cats sitting here, Rudy Poo, plumbing, brain full of mushing, and brainwashing these Mikey Garcia fanboys and appealing to their base. You are a true fanboy. That's what you are. You are fanboyism at the highest level. So don't sit here and give me this bullshit about Errol Spence, you know what I'm saying, not being what he's supposed to. I don't want to hear that crap, man. You know, I'm sitting here listening to the nonsense that, you know, these people want to sit here and say. It's foolery, man. Call the stuff for what it is. And when people say Errol Spence don't got head movement, okay. You want to say that? We'll see. We'll see. Come March 16th. And first and foremost, when you are a come forward fighter, I'm going to have to educate you guys. Lest you forget, let's have to remind your ass. When you're a come forward fighter and you are a fighter that press the action, you are going to get hit at times, man. You're not going to be blemish. You're not going to be blemish free. I'm going to say that again. You're not going to be blemish free because you are pressing the action. So hence, because you're pressing the action, you're going to be taking some hits. You're going to be taking some shots. There's just no two ways around it. But Errol Spence always gets these grazing type of shots. These shots that never hit him on the button. And when I hear this nonsense about Mikey Garcia is going to hurt Errol Spence, just like Errol Spence is going to hurt him, no. The punishment is only going to be levied one way. Mikey Garcia is going to be the one that's going to be getting hurt. He's the one that's going to get put down to the ground. That's how that fight is going to happen. So don't sit here and try to build this thing up. This guy's never fought at 147 pounds. That right there is a X against him. The guy, we don't know what his punching power is at 147 pounds. That's the X against him. Then on top of that, he has to deal with Errol Spence, who has already been fighting in the 147 pounds throughout his whole career. That's another X against him. And then he's fighting the bigger and the stronger guy. See, the more and more I keep debunking you, IBFP or whatever the fart your name is, the more and more I'm forcing you to come out with the truth. You see now, you're trying to change your tune now because I see what you're doing. You're saving face. you know the fight is coming closer and closer, and you know you have to start saying that there's a possibility that Errol Spence can stop Mikey Garcia so you could save face. You are not unbiased, dude. You are biased. Because every time you've called the fight, you've called it in a way to where it's so much so in Mikey Garcia's favor, it's not even funny. Me, the reason why I'm picking Errol Spence is because I don't see no possibility that Mikey Garcia could win the fight. And the reason being is because he has too many hurdles to climb. If he didn't have all of these hurdles, I would be calling this fight a lot closer. The guy's never fought at 147. He's the smaller guy. We don't know where his punching power is going to carry up into that weight class, because you've heard fighters say that before. The difference between 140 to 147. That same Tim Bradley that you brought up in your video. What did he say? What the fart did that dude say? Man, when I went to 140 to 147, that punching power was so much difference. I had to get so used to it. That 7 pounds was crucial. Wasn't this the same? And you using Timothy Bradley, man. I already told you guys. This guy got this knot full of head that looked like his head was part of a road bump or something. This is the cat that you guys want to sit here and use as your poster boy for Mikey Garcia. Y'all reaching, man. I'm sorry. Y'all really reaching, because you not bringing up IBFP or whatever the fart your name is, or Nuke, whatever your name is, that Timothy Bradley was the mandatory for Errol Spence. How come he avoided Errol Spence? How come he avoided Errol Spence? You didn't bring that up. He was supposed to fight Errol Spence, but he chose to retire. I wonder why. Maybe he didn't want that tactical aggression, technical punching placement, that body snatching work to come after him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't want a fight that was worse than Provodnikov. Because the Provodnikov fight, we saw what happened to him. Could you imagine Errol Spence? Errol Spence would have done 100 million times worse. And he didn't want those kind of problems. That's why his ass ran to retirement. We're not bringing that up, though. But we want to sit here and use him as the poster boy? And go sit down somewhere. This guy that got the questionable win against Manny Pacquiao, that we all know damn well Manny Pacquiao whooped him to shreds every time they fought. If that's the guy you're using, that's what I'm talking about. That's not even reaching no more. That's heresy at the highest level. That's comical. So you know what I need you to do for me? You and all of these Mikey Garcia fanboys, because y'all just got Ethan and damn near murked on this video. Do the biggest what? Higgity hush of the damn day. This is He Knows His Sport. Checking out.